Not the obvious choice, I would have thought.
Look, Greg hasn't got the experience or the nous. The action book needs a thinking detective.
Greg thinks?
Yeah, in straight lines. Look, it's not just being the office manager in there. You know that, Ted. There's 1,000 bits of information flying about in there, and one, just one, could be important. Now, I'd back you against Greg to spot that. That's why I want you in there. Also, it might give you a chance to prove a couple of things.
Such as?
Ted Roach can't handle responsibility, can he? Show him different. Detective Sergeant Ted Roach, sir. I think you met yesterday.
Yeah, indeed. Have you run an incident room before, Ted?
No, sir, but I've been involved in plenty. I'm sure I can do a good job.
You were a bit uptight yesterday after you'd informed the mother.
Well, we all get a bit uptight when a child's been murdered, don't we, sir?
But don't let it get in the way. Clarity of thought, yeah? You get 72 hours to catch a murderer. After that, you're down to the long, hard grind and luck. And I'd prefer to catch this man now.
I'm sure you could be in on the press conference if you really wanted to be, sir.
Well, that's for Superintendent Meadows to ask for, not me.
Excuse me, sir.
Unfamiliar role for you, Ted?
I think I've got something to offer, sir. Morning.
Morning.
A decision has been made at command level to combine the investigation into the murder of Graham Butler with that into the murder yesterday of Jenny Price. The incident room here at Sun Hill, staffed by members of the Area Major Incident Pool, under my direction, will be conducting the combined investigation.
Presumably, this means you believe both children were victims of the same killer.
That's a possibility that hasn't been ruled out.
Do you have any evidence at all so far?
The forensic evidence is looking very promising.
So an early arrest is expected?
We're here to do a job. To catch the person who murdered Jenny Price.
2 dog hairs and 1 fingerprint on a plastic sack. We're whistling in the dark. Not if that fingerprint comes good. How's it going to come good? By belonging to a known child killer? Very likely. Listen, someone put her body in that sack. As slags have been known to change their habits. They escalate. I don't think so, Gov. Yeah, well, you know the drill. Leave no stone unturned, no matter what's underneath. Wheel him in.
Suits me. I'd rather screen out pervs than interview the parents.
Jenny Price left her home in Leeworthy Road at 8:45 yesterday morning to walk to St Eunice's Junior School in Penrith Street. She never arrived. Her body was found some 3 hours later in Gilfillan Road. She was wearing a grey skirt and blue St Eunice's sweatshirt. We would appeal to anyone who thinks they may have seen Jenny yesterday morning to come forward.
Here's the list.
Who's actioning who?
Well, for starters, I'm doing Tyler and Malden, and Tosh is doing Cope and Bellingham.
Okay, but don't be too soft on him, all right?
It's the Old Faithful's run, Ted.
It doesn't matter. You take nothing for granted. Incident room, Roach.
Oh, excuse me, sir. I'm just off to see the parents, Gov.
We'll use your instinct, Frank. If you think it'll help, bring them in. But just let them see we're pulling out all the stops.
Right, Gov. And we're a bit short on WDCs.
Or WPC, then. Could you help us with that, sir?
Yes, I'm sure I should take Ackland.
Thank you very much, sir. Bus stop's down the road, girls.
Cut off, please. Just don't want to talk.
Mrs. Price, Detective Inspector Burnside, Sun Hill. We spoke on the phone.
D.I. Burnside.
When are you going to make a full statement about this, will you? Haven't you got no kids of your own?
Well, make a full statement,
Does that thing work after it's been trodden on?
Mrs. Price, what was Jenny like?
Put him on a lead.
Mrs. Price, can we just open
Sorry about that. You should have told us you were being hassled.
Don't make a lot of difference now, does it?
Mr. Price?
Yeah.
Frank Burnside.
Would you like some coffee or something?
Well, actually, I was going to suggest that we went back to Sun Hill. Change of scene. Get these parasites off your back for a while.
Rob?
What?
Do you want to go to the police station?
What for? Well, I will have to ask you a few questions. I understood it was okay with both of you.
Well, the sooner the better, I think. Maybe a good idea to get out for a bit, Rob, eh?
What's the point? She's dead.
Obviously, I appreciate that nothing we can do or say is going to alter that fact, Mr. Price.
Come on, Robbie.
Honestly, it doesn't matter. Look, we don't want to put you under any pressure.
We've got to talk about it or we'll both go mad. Robbie.
Look, perhaps tomorrow.
No. I've tried to tell him. It's not just us. It could happen to someone else if we don't help.
I don't want to find him. I don't want to see him, know who he is. I don't want to know anything about him.
You don't have to, Mr. Price. But your wife's right. He could do it again. We've got to stop him. Now, you can help us by talking about Jenny.
Oh, come on, Robbie.
We'll wait in the hall.
Kath, those winos in Gilfillan Road. Did any of them mention anything about a red car?
Just pink lorries. Why, have you had a reported sighting?
Yeah, parking at the waste ground.
Mrs. Price!
Declan been to Burnside.
Just
Any
keep walking.
development so far?
Mr. Price, were you the last person to see Jenny alive?
All right, Mr. Leave her alone now, please. We're going.
Didn't tell us anything at all.
Jenny alive?
What was Jenny like, Mrs. Price?
Now, there's 2 calls in less than 20 minutes, Gov. Now, the first says a red car, but the second, definitely a red Datsun.
But no reg number.
Not as yet, but I thought you'd want to know.
Mark it in the book. If you get a reg number, then I want to hear. Otherwise, stay at your desk. You're the hub of the wheel. Don't let it fall off. Yeah?
Mr. and Mrs. Price are here, sir.
Hello.
Mrs. Price?
I'm sorry about yesterday. I didn't make it very easy for you.
Oh, it can't have been too easy for you either. I'll see you later.
It's good of you to give us your time.
Mrs. Price says she'd like to look around, sir. Mr. Price would prefer not to.
We got a number.
What?
The red Datsun. And Mrs. Davis was bringing her son home from the doctor's about 9:30 yesterday.
Yeah?
He remembers the registration numbers, his father's initials. Tango Romeo Delta 476 Yankee.
Did you run a check on it?
Oh, give us a chance.
Well, do it then. Fast.
Take a seat. Coffee? Andrea shouldn't be long. Later, not today if you don't feel like it, I shall have to talk to you both individually, on your own. That's normal procedure.
The registered owner of the vehicle's a local man. David Charles Kennedy, Rawminster Road Estate.
I know Rawminster Estate, though, sir. It's got some very tricky walkways. It's easy to do a runner, especially into Cromont Road, and there's an alleyway at either end. You will definitely need TSG backup to close all the gaps.
Thank you, Sergeant. If you could circulate the reg number, please. Invite Mr. Kennedy in.
Right, sir.
TSG 212 for support.
And don't forget the lockups at the back, Jim.
Do you think you could just cool it a bit, Ted? I think professional calm might make a better impression on Mrs. Price than your headless chicken act. Oh, and when Mr. Kennedy comes in, I want to talk to him personally.
I suppose you'd already gone to work by the time Jenny left home yesterday.
I left home at 7:30. Jenny was at her window upstairs. She waved me off.
Oh, hello. Have a seat, love.
Thank you.
How'd you get on?
They're working so hard for us. And the phones are ringing all the time. You know, people who've heard the appeal on the radio and are trying to help. And then it suddenly hit me. You're not looking for Jenny. You're looking for the man who killed her.
We'll find him. Believe me.
Morning. DC Carver, Sunhill Police. We're looking for Mr. Kennedy.
What for?
Are you Mrs. Kennedy, love?
No,
But David Kennedy does live here.
if you say so.
Is he in?
No.
Well, maybe we could come in.
No.
Well, do you know where we could find Mr. Kennedy? It's very important that we speak to him.
He's fixing the car.
Where? On the estate?
No.
What about the lockup?
I just said, he's not here.
Well, where is he then?
His brother's. Lunnis Road,
Number?
20.
Now, you wouldn't mess us about, would you, love? Right, we'll give it a spin, okay?
I'm not arresting you, Peter. Just want to eliminate you from our inquiries. You do want to be eliminated, don't you?
I don't know what it means.
It means a little girl has been killed. Now, we have a list of people who've offended against little girls, and you're on it.
I wouldn't kill no one.
I'm not saying you would, that's why
I ain't even touched no one, not for ages.
you hang around outside schools.
No, not for ages. I don't do it anymore, honestly.
All right, okay.
I shouldn't be on no list. I don't do anything.
All right. Now just calm down and tell me where you were yesterday morning. That's all I want to know.
I was home. In bed.
On your own?
Yes.
And what time did you get up?
I didn't.
You stayed in bed all day?
Yeah.
Were you ill? Peter?
You're safe in bed. You don't get people looking at you. I shouldn't be on no list no more.
Did anyone visit you?
Yeah.
Who?
Simon.
And who's Simon?
My probation officer.
Mr. David Kennedy?
Yeah? Jenny always walked to school alone, did she?
Most days, yeah. I always used to take her, but this year she wanted to start going on her own. Growing up. It's only a 6 or 7 minute walk.
And, she never met any friends at all on the way?
Not on the way to school, no.
Does she always go the same way?
Along Helford Road. Except Fridays. Sometimes on a Friday, she'd go via the corner shop on JC Grove. Buy a packet of crisps for a break.
But she didn't go via JC Grove yesterday?
Not as far as I know.
Did she seem happy when she left home?
Jenny was always happy.
Come on, we're going home.
It's got to be done.
Not today, it hasn't.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be today, Andrea. As I said to you earlier, it's entirely up to you and Rob.
Got to have a cup of coffee or something.
Sure.
No, it's all right. I'll go.
If I had £1 for every time I've been pulled in here, I'd be a rich man.
You weren't pulled, Mr. Bellingham. You agreed to come.
Because I've got nothing to hide. I was expecting it, mind you. As soon as I heard it on the radio yesterday, little girl murdered, I thought, give them 24 hours, they'll be round.
You shouldn't be such a scrote. We don't bother decent people.
I suppose you'll bother the murderer much either.
What makes you say that?
But two of you talking to me? It doesn't exactly suggest hard evidence elsewhere, does it?
What were you doing yesterday morning, from 8:45 onwards?
Well, we'd had a bit of a booze up the night before. Adults only, naturally. So I never got up until gone 9. Then I went round the bottle bank, because I'm very eco-conscious. And then down the video shop, because they charge an arm and a leg if you keep the things for 2 days.
Tasty, were they? The videos?
Nah, very tame, actually.
Not your usual party fare, then? Not the stuff for corrupting minors?
I thought we were into murder today, not child abuse.
What video shop?
Zodiac Tape, Elidor Parade.
Time?
At the shop, about 10:30. Carla was serving, she'll remember. I left me wheelbarrow outside, of course.
Wheelbarrow?
Well, how else would I have got this kid to Gilfillan Road, eh? I don't drive. You know that.
Get him out of here, Mike, before I stick him in a wheelbarrow.
Did Jenny ever mention seeing anything odd on her way to and from school? I mean, was she ever spoken to by a stranger? An adult? Someone with a dog, maybe?
No. She would have said. She was a very sensible kid.
Did Jenny know many adults?
Well, family, of course. My sister and her husband. And Rob's got 2 brothers. His dad.
How about friends of the family? Acquaintances? Someone who perhaps knew Jenny better than they knew either you or Rob?
What are you asking us to do? Point the finger at somebody we know?
No.
Well, it sounds like it.
Leave it, Rob. He has to ask.
What, whether we happen to know any child killers?
These are just routine questions.
Routine? Like asking me to explain my movements yesterday morning. You got half the Met here, mate. Is this the best you can do? I was her father. She was all we had, all we wanted, and now she's gone. You never solved that little boy's murder, and you won't solve this one either because you're useless, so just leave us alone.
Rob, I can't know what you're feeling now. But I am trying to imagine. We do have many lines of inquiry open to us. I promise you.
Jim, where the hell have you been? Meadows is waiting for his big moment.
Well, I think we got a bit of a problem with Mr. Kennedy. I'm at his brother's house. I've spoken to both to him and his brother. Look, the car was in Gilfillan Road yesterday morning. The trouble is, it was also there the previous night and most of the day before that. It was broken down.
Can he prove that?
He's got a receipt for battery dated yesterday. He's also remembered by the recovery firm he tried to get a tow off the day before that. That's Phelps Motors of Pillar Street. But I spoke to the manager on the telephone. Mr. Kennedy couldn't play cash, so they wouldn't play ball.
Yeah, just a second, Jim.
What's happening with Kennedy?
Looks like he's abroad, sir. The car's been there for 2 days.
Do you have any witnesses on this?
Apparently so.
Right, well, you better get some written statements then.
Written statements, Jim.
Right.
Is there anywhere you two could go and stay for a few days? I mean, now they got your home address, the press won't let go. Not even with a copper on the door.
My sister's offered.
Where's that, far?
Hounslow.
Take her up on it. I'm very grateful for this. The more people we can positively exclude, the more chance we got.
It's okay.
Excuse me, sir.
I'm one minute.
The driver of the Datsun's no use to us. Apparently the car had just broken down in Gilfillan Road.
Oh, great. Well, that doesn't leave us much to go on, does it? All right, thanks. We've eliminated the Datsun driver from our inquiries. I'll tell Mr. Meadows you're off now. He'll want to say goodbye.
I don't want to go home.
Pardon?
I'd rather go straight to my sister's. Can I ring her?
Yeah, sure. But, what about your stuff? Would you like someone to go and get it?
Tomorrow.
Have we had a promise on the fingerprints?
No, sir, but I know it's a priority.
Chase them up again, will you? You heard about Kennedy?
Yes, sir.
What about the prices?
Well, I think they've had enough for one day, sir. Thought you'd like to see them before they go.
And what do you reckon?
Well, I've only had a preliminary chat. Haven't had either of them on their own for long.
And what do you reckon?
Price? No way, sir.
Pity.
Well, it would have been helpful, I suppose, if the parents had done it.
Robbie, thanks for all your help. I'll keep you in touch with developments.
Any joy with the pervs?
No.
Screen out, sift and collate. And hope. We even hope the parents did it. You know why? Because we got nothing. 2 dog hairs and a fingerprint is what we started with, and that's what we still got.
It's only day 1, Ted.
Yeah, and by day 3, everyone will start losing interest, and I don't want that. I don't want another child murdered simply because we're going through the motions.
So what's the answer?
I don't know. I don't know any more than Meadows. Just might care a little more, that's all.
Wearing your heart on your sleeve never solved a crime, Ted.
Incident room, Roach. Yes, sir. Hold the fort.
Sad. This is DS Paul Gavin. You'll be taking over the action book from tomorrow.
Sir?
Well, I did tell you you'd only be filling in, didn't I?
No, sir, you didn't.
Oh. Oh, well, anyway, Paul's been made available to me and we know each other's methods. So you can get back out on the streets where you feel more at home. I'll send Paul through in a minute for a quick update. Thank you, Ted.
Sir?
Bad news about the fingerprint on the plastic sack. Not known.
You better tell Meadows, not me.